Alright, there's been a bit of a question in regards to getting a ship to the MUN and back using MechJeb. So we're going to run this. Alright, what I've done is I've selected a stock ship just out of here, and it's the Cobalt X. I have, however, changed the boosters, added the 800s in just to give it a little bit of range, extra range. And the only other difference is to add the MechJeb module. There we go. Alright, and we can just go straight to launch. We're going to be using 3 modules of the MechJeb this evening. The first is the Ascent, then we'll be using the Maneuver Planner, and the last one will be the Landing. That will be on the first leg of the trip. Essentially we do it in reverse on the way back. Right, the Ascent guidance is already up. We're going to set that to 100 kilometers. Always have prevent overheats on, especially when using mansels, because they overheat and blow up and then you're screwed. Okay, we pretty much go straight into that. And we're off. This is an asparagus design. As you'll see, the booster rockets will drop off thusly. The beauty of the asparagus design is that boosters run out, they drain all the fuel into the main tank and then drop off. So what ends up happening is that the final stage, your main tanks are full and your booster rockets are gone, and the rocket is as light as. Designing, however, is another thing. Now, as you can see, I'm not even controlling it. We're going to be pretty much using MechJeb all the way. We're going to be going up to 100 kilometers. So that's just below this space station. A full gravity turn here. You see, this is why we do the gravity turn. We're still climbing, but our apoapsis starts moving out and our orbit gets wider and wider. Once your apoapsis hits the desired altitude, you can cut your engines, cruise to the apoapsis, and then circularize your orbit. This will do it automatically. As we just cut it now, be able to see on the nav ball here. What will happen is it'll get to a certain point about here, it'll form a maneuver node at the apoapsis, and it'll warp to there. Again. It's going to swing around until it meets the maneuver node and then warp off. There we go. Hopefully we'll have a bit more fuel. And orbit. And just Yep, there we go, perfect. And we're almost out of fuel in the main stage, so our ascent guidance can go off, and we go to our maneuver node, our maneuver planner. Now we flick through that until we get the Hoffman transfer. Select our target and create and execute. Simple as that. Does all the calculations for you, creates a maneuver node, Hoffman transfer goes off to there. Once it spins around and faces the maneuver node, there it is, it'll warp off. Actually manually eyeing up the MUN for a Hoffman transfer is fairly easy. All you have to do is wait until the MUN comes over the horizon. Keep your ship facing the orbit. See, there's your orbit node there, there's your maneuver node there, they're almost perfect. As soon as the MUN comes over, fire up the rockets and watch your apoapsis reach the desired point. As you can see, we're on the final stage. Once you break orbit, 50% of your work is done. What we're going to do is we're going to fine tune it. That'll create a maneuver node about here. It's just going to finish doing its final calculations. And it's done. Alright, creates a maneuver node there, fine tunes it so we get within 50 kilometers. Also makes it easier to warp over. For the 17 seconds of meters per second delta burn, it's worth the fuel, especially on those bigger journeys. There we go. Alright, now what we can do is with this one, just go to circularize and we warp up until we're 50 kilometers away. Close enough. And already in orbit. And that is the maneuver planner done. Once it's completed, we'll be in a circularized orbit of 50 kilometers. There we go. Now we can go to the landing guidance. Let's just do a couple of things. One is enter the coordinates manually, so we can put in the coordinates if we know where we want to land. Or we can pick a target on the map, or we can just land somewhere. hit that, it'll just land. On the MUN it's not much fun because you end up in the side of a crater or something like that, so I always like to pick the target. And that seems like a good target. That's where the coordinates were already in. And we go land at target. Easy as that. We'll zip around. We'll give you a status report of what it's doing. And snap. It's going to start reducing its periapsis. You'll find the deorbit burn point is pretty much almost on top of the target. Very close. Because of the low gravity. It doesn't take much to slow it down. There you go, we slowed down already enough to crash. There's the expected target. Here's our real target. Actually even calculates the amount of drift during your braking maneuver. See your shadow starting to come up now. If you're not using MechJeb, that's an indicator of how fast you're going in relation to the real level of the planet or body that you're landing on. It's always better to try and land during the day. Night landings can be scary. It's pretty flat. We'll be alright. And we have touchdown. And there's Bill about to put the flag out. Ta-da! And we're done. So to get back home, what we do is we use our ascent guidance. We change that to about 50 kilometers because we don't have to go that high. After that, we use a maneuver planner again. This time we can actually just go return from the moon. Our final periapsis will be 100 kilometers. Off we go. And then after that, we can use our landing guidance. Now in this particular rocket you won't use your landing guidance. What you have to do is parachute down to the final destination. So landing in the water, a big soft place, is a big opportunity there. Alright, hope that was informative and I hope you learned something. Good luck.